Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to another episode of A Journey to Identity. I am your host, Sharon Tillman. How is everyone doing today? Oh my goodness, I am so excited to talk to you guys today. Can you believe that we have entered into 2026? No, like seriously, can you believe it? We are in 2026, guys. This is like the first weekend. How are you feeling? Like, seriously, how are you feeling? I would love to hear how you guys bought in your New Year's. Like, what did you do? Did you go anywhere? Did you go to church? Like, what did you do? How did you bring your New Year in? And how do you feel like you are within the New Year so far? Like, I know a lot of people have started their New Year's resolutions. They started their goals. They've started trying to lose weight. They've started, with all of the things. Where are you in your journey? It's the first week, right? So I'm almost certain that everybody is still motivated with whatever you put on your paper, whatever you thought about, whether you did vision boards or any of the things. I already know that you still motivated because it's the first weekend, right? You ain't gave up yet, right? Let's talk about it. I want to talk about it. And I really want to make that the podcast today, honestly, because I want to talk about like our expectations and things when it comes to what we are believing for, what we are expecting, right? My sister and I, for the first time ever, came together and did a vision board. And we did like a vision prayer board. And on this board, it was something that she saw on TikTok and she wanted to do it. And so we did it. And so basically, we wrote down we had several different categories on the vision boards, and so on the category within the categories you write down what exactly you want the choices to be, like what you want your goals to be up under every category. So you may have like a spiritual category, you may have like a weight loss category, you may have like a career category. You might have a budgeting category. You might have a miscellaneous category, right? And that's just a lot of different things. I think my sister did one that was like short term, long term. These are the things that she wants to do short term. These are the things that she wants to do long term. And so it's amazing, right? Because as you're filling up this vision board and you've got this space on this board and you're just writing things down, and then next thing you know, you've got a board full of things. And my question is, how do we navigate actually putting into practice to be able to do all of the things that we're expecting? Like, I want to know, how do we navigate, right? Like, are we in a place where we can navigate all of these things simultaneously at once? Do we categorize them based on what they are and be like, okay, I want to do the spiritual first, so I'm gonna start with this one and then I'll move to a separate category? Or I want to work on my finances first, so I'm gonna start with the finance category and then I'll get to the spiritual, or then I'll get to the miscellaneous, or then I'll get to the weight loss. Like, I really want to know what that looks like, right? Because a lot of times we put tons and tons and tons of things on our vision boards, and we put tons and tons and tons of things, and this is nothing to anybody. I love the fact that we did the board. I loved it, and my board was full too, but it was something that was a revelation for me. It was like something that made me, because I'm the why girl, right? So it made me want to go back and be like, okay, how are we going to accomplish all of these things? Are all of these things in the season that we are currently in? Are some of these things just things that we should have into like a regular practice already? Or is this something that we kind of gotta like build ourselves for? And the opposition that comes when you're setting goals. So when you're setting goals, I don't know how many of you say, okay, I'm gonna eat right. And then as soon as you say, I told you all my weight, my all of my things be weight loss, right? So you be like, I'm gonna eat right, I'm gonna get my body right, I'm gonna do all of these things. And then next thing you know, somebody's having a party. Or then next thing you know, they bring donuts and they bring muffins to work. And then next thing you know, one of your coworkers has you like a bag of candy because they know your favorite candy and they decide to bring your favorite candy, right? This is the opposition that I'm talking about whenever you set a goal. So anytime you decide that you're going to do something, the enemy is like, or maybe even not the enemy all the time, right? Because it may not always be the enemy, but it is opposition, and something is going to fight you from being able to just do that. Just like, oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to eat right, and you're never going to have a temptation. You're never going to have like any opposition or anything that's going to put that into a place where it's a challenge for you, or put it into a place where you've got to really work for it. Like, okay, this thing is fighting me. Like, but I've got to fight harder because this is the goal that I want to accomplish, right? So do we take into consideration the opposition that we'll feel when things like this happen? Like, okay, say for instance, it's not weight loss, right? Say for instance, this year you've decided that you want to save more money, right? Which that's a great goal, right? Okay, so this year you decide to save money. And then the first week, something happens with your car. The second week, you need a tire. The third week, something happens at the house. You got to get something fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then all the time where you're like, oh, I wanted to save money. This is money that I can be saving. You're pulling money away from the very thing that you were wanting to do. So do we take into accountability the opposition that's going to come when we make these choices and when we make these goals? And are we prepared to rub up against the opposition? Like, are we prepared to go the long ways with the goal in spite of the opposition? Because it doesn't mean the opposition isn't going to come. It just means that you have the power to overcome it, but you have to also have the mindset to say that I have the power to overcome that. And if you're not in the space where you have made that decision, then it'll be hard for you to say, like, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to stick to regardless of whatever it is, right? So I just want to talk about that because I think a lot of times we go into situations, right? All of us go into situations and sometimes we don't think about all of the things that can go wrong. We don't think about all of the opposition. We don't think about what the discipline is that requires for us to be able to accomplish that goal. We don't think about it. We go in with the mindset that this is what I'm going to do, and you're hoping, right? Or maybe it's the expectation of, this is what I want to do, and this is the way that it's going to be. Like, right? So when it comes to anything that we are deciding to do, have we taken into accountability the opposition that's going to come or the discipline that's going to be required in order for us to accomplish the goal? Like, what exactly does it look like? What does that look like? And how do we get to a place where we can overcome it? How do we get to a place where we can keep going and keep fighting and keep thriving, right? Because it's not even about just giving up, right? Because it's easy to give up and walk away, right? So you're on this weight loss journey. They bring you donuts, you slip up, and you're like, man, I messed up. Listen, this used to be my story, okay? If I messed up on my diet and it's like Wednesday, I'd be like, I'm going to just start over on Monday. I would never give myself grace to be like, okay, Sharon, you ate that, but you can make better choices for the rest of the day and you can be ready for tomorrow. It would be like, oh man, I messed up. I done ate this and I wasn't supposed to eat it. And then next thing you know, I'm off for the next couple of days eating whatever I want to eat. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to just start over on Monday. But how does that help me to know that I can give myself grace when I fall? Like, I want to relate this to even the Father and how he extends grace to us and how he gives us grace in different seasons of our life. So even if we find ourselves in a season with God and we feel like, oh, I said that I wasn't going to fornicate and I fornicated, or oh, I said I wasn't going to smoke anymore and I smoked, or oh, I said that I had stopped drinking, I was giving up drinking, and then I took a drink, right? And I'm not saying these things are right or wrong. What I'm saying is when we find ourselves in the season of saying that we're not going to do a thing and then it happens, are we able to extend ourselves the grace that the Father extends us? Or do we put ourselves like, okay, well, just forget it. I can't do it. Or I'll try again next time. I'll try again another day, right? What does that look like for you? Like, I want you to think about it. And then I want you to leave me a comment. I want you to comment below and let me know, what does this look like for you? What does accountability look like for you? What does it mean to give yourself grace when you mess up? Like, what does it mean, right? So going into 2026, I know we all have our resolutions. We've all got our goals. We've all got these things that we want to accomplish. And I talked about this. I think I talked about this on the last episode, because I talked about how sometimes we put things on our board, and then sometimes we put these things on our board or our paper or whatever you do, you put them down, and then sometimes you don't accomplish them, right? And that's okay. What do you do when you don't accomplish them? Do you put them on your next year's goals, or do you just leave them off? For me, if I have a goal on my, or goals on my New Year set goals that I don't accomplish by the end of the year, then it rolls over. Like, it goes on the very next year, because I'm not giving up on doing it because I didn't get it done in the time frame in which I wanted to do it, or I thought that I would do it. So it's not about giving up. It's not about throwing in the towel. It's not even about being done with it when things happen, when opposition comes, whenever something comes to throw you off course, because there will be things, right? There will be things that will come to throw you off course. There will be things that will come that will make you feel like accomplishing the goals that you've placed on your paper, you can't do it, or your vision board, you can't do it. You can walk by here and be like, oh, this year I've decided that I wanted to save money. But every single time I put back whatever your goal is, if it's 25, if it's 200, if it's 500, whatever your goal is to save every month, every time I put this money back to save this particular money every month, something comes up and I have to take it. So do we stop putting the money away, or do we just keep going until we get to a place where we can not necessarily understand, but to understand that it is opposition, that it is going to come, and you can overcome it, right? Because you have to take the money that you've saved, and you may have to get your car fixed this month. But if you put that money back again next month and there's nothing to do, then guess what? You've accomplished a month of saving the money and it not having to go anywhere. And then if you keep doing that every single month, then you'll get to the place that you want it to be. It doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. It means that you're going to be consistent with it. So have we thought about the discipline and the consistency that is required whenever we're setting these goals? What does discipline look like? What does consistency look like? Are we willing to say no when we want to say yes? If saving money is your goal and you know that you need to be saving, you can't go to the sales all the time, right? Like, that's just the way that it is. So if Bath and Body Works is having a sale and they're having their $10 candle sale, which they've already had it because they do it in December. I'm just using this for an example. But if Bath and Body Works is having their $10 candle sale, and trust me, I be all in there too. So I ain't coming for nobody with this sale, okay? Because I love me some Bath and Body Works candles. But if they're having a sale and they have their candles for $10 and they tell you you can get up to 24 candles, because that's how they do, right? That's $240, not including your taxes and your fees. If you know that all you have is what you've saved, what are you going to do? It's the discipline of being able to say no. I can't do it this time, right? Like, but are you prepared for what that feels like? Are you prepared for what your no feels like? Are you prepared? Like, sometimes what I've learned, right, is sometimes we struggle telling other people no. But we don't have a problem telling ourselves no. But then sometimes we struggle saying no, period. right? So it's like, no, I can't tell myself that I'm not going to get these candles because I feel like I deserve it. I don't work hard. I love these candles. It's one time a year. Listen, these are probably some of the things that I done told myself. So I'm just telling on myself in this moment, okay? But it's like, I want the candles. But do you need the candles? Are you prepared to be disciplined and to tell yourself no in moments when you feel like you want to say yeah? You almost feel justified in your yeah. It's like, it's a good deal. They're $10. Normally they're 25. Okay? Like it's, and you can get whatever candle you want. And you can stock up on the candles for the next year, because typically I stock up in December and I still got candles when the next sale come around. Okay? But are you prepared to tell yourself no when you don't need to do it? Are you prepared for what that's going to feel like when you tell yourself no? Are you prepared for the discipline that is required in the no? Because just because you can't buy the candles don't mean that the advertising isn't going to be there. It doesn't mean that they're not going to sell the candles. It doesn't mean that they're not going to send you 15 emails leading up to the day. It doesn't mean any of those things. So it's still going to be right there in your face. It's still going to be going on around you. But you're not going to be able to be a partaker. Can you handle what that feels like? I just want to sit this with you, right? Because I feel like as we've entered this year and we've set these goals, like ultimately the goal is to accomplish the goals. We don't want to set goals that we're not looking to accomplish. We don't want to like prayer boards and vision boards and writing your resolutions down and coming up with these things. This is great. It looks good. They're festive. It's pretty. It brings people together. It's amazing. But is it a waste if we don't have the intention on accomplishing the goals that we're writing down? Or are we just doing this because it's a ritual and it's something that everybody does at the first of the year and we just want to jump on the bandwagon? Like, I really want you to think about it. It's almost like the same with the losing weight at the first of the year. Gym memberships increase. These are all statistics, right? Statistics will show you that gym memberships increase between January and February. And by March, most of those don't even have a membership anymore. Like, the decline starts actually in February. By March, it's dispensed. And I'm saying that because not to come for anybody, because that ain't what we do over here, okay? I'm speaking to you as I'm speaking to myself, because I have 20 pounds on my goal list every year. And I say it all the time. If I lose the 20 pounds, I don't have to keep rolling it over every year. Okay? Don't have to do it because I've done what it takes in order to get it off and keep it off. I don't have to do it. But this goes into what I'm saying. Are we prepared for the discipline? Are we prepared for what is required in order to fulfill the goal? Do we have the expectation to accomplish and to fulfill the goals that we have placed down for 2026? Are they achievable? Are they attainable goals, right? Because we don't want to have 30 things to do and our attention span is not going to grace us for 30 things to steward. So what does our capacity look like? Even in our capacity, can we handle that? Even in our capacity, can we do it? What does it look like? What does my capacity look like for what I'm already stewarding? And how can I make these incorporations into my daily activity, right? Because we got to do, like, if you're losing weight, you're not just it's a lifestyle change, right? This isn't like something that you're just gonna be able to like do when you feel like it. You're gonna have to be intentional about your kitchen, intentional about your workouts or your walking, intentional about getting your water in. You're gonna have to be intentional about what you're putting in your body, right? So it's not just something that we're just going to do. It is something that's going to require us discipline, accountability, and it's going to require us to be intentional about it. Like we're going to have to be willing to be disciplined. We're going to have to be willing to say, okay, I know I want this piece of cake, but I can't have it. That would be for me, right? I am a sweet girl. This is why my 20 pounds roll over every year, okay? You can keep all the other stuff. Like people be like, oh, I'm a meat and potato girl. Yeah, you can have the meat and potatoes, right? I can eat it, but I don't eat it. But them sweets, they get me every time, right? Like let me just, I want to be real with you guys. So the discipline that's required for me to be like, Sharon, you can't have that right now, right? Like if you're going to have a bite-sized something, don't let it be 2 days after you started. Give yourself some time with your no so that when you are ready to say yes, your no is sustainable enough for you to be able to go back to it. Let me say that again. Give yourself some time with your no. So when you are ready to say yes, your no is sustainable enough for you to go back to it. Like if you're not disciplined enough to say no, then when you say yes, your yes is going to be overpowering. And it's going to have you swaying towards what you're not supposed to do versus what you are supposed to do because it has the power. It's controlling. So I want you to think about the discipline that's required and what it looks like for you to discipline yourself, what it looks like for you to really get focused in with your goals, what it really looks like for you to obtain the very things that you're saying. I want to lose 20 pounds. So what does that look like? The intentionality of what I'm putting in my body, my water intake, it's staying away from them sugars, right? It doesn't mean that I'm going to cut myself off from the world. I am going to find myself in places where there is going to be things there that may not be things that I need to have. But then that discipline of when I can say yes and when I can say no, because it's not a say yes every time. There'll be moments when I have to say no, and I have to be okay with that. And then when there are moments when I can say yes, how much yes can I have? Right? Just because you say yes don't mean you got to overdo it. And I'm just talking about weight because that's my goal. That's one of my goals. Again, I'm not going to have it on my 2027 because with the mindset that I have, and I don't know if this revelation hit me because it was something that I needed to tell myself, right? But because it came to me, I want to share it with you guys because I love you guys, right? But if it's saving money, right? If it's saving money, then it's the same thing. There'll be times when you have to say no. I can't buy that. I can't do that. I can't go there. But then there will be times when you can say yes. When you say yes, is your yes going to be overpowering your no? Is it going to be a long yes to where I done made up for all my no's? Or is it going to be, I can give myself this particular wiggle room to say yes? And then I have to cut it off and I have to go back to my no. Because I have to remember the why behind what I'm doing. The why behind my saving. The why behind my weight loss goal, right? If it is to be present, which I thought was a great one. I actually heard that one somewhere else. And I actually thought it was a great one, right? Because I think we could all stand to be a little bit more present, right? If your goal is to be present, then that means that there are times when you're going to have to cut that phone off before you come in the house with your kids. You're going to have to not take that call when your kids are there. You're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to dial in when you guys are watching the movie and put your phone down. And I'm saying this because I know what that looks like, right? I remember my youngest daughter, I remember her saying that to me one time. And she was like, "Mommy, can you not be on the phone when I get in the car? Because I really want to tell you about my day." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, Ju, I'm so sorry." Because a lot of times we're not doing things intentionally, right? And sometimes we don't even really pay it attention, right? It's more so like, this kid wants my undivided attention because she's been in school all day and she wants to tell me about her day, and I'm trying to finish it up, whether it be work, whether it be casual, like whatever it be. I could be on the phone with one of the other children, but I'm going to see that child when I get home. I could be whatever it is, whoever it is. It took that moment for me to be like, I have to end my calls before my kid gets in the car. Once my kid is in the car, I will have to call you back when I'm available, because I need to be present for her. And so I think that, and the discipline that that requires. So like, even now, if we're watching a movie and like, we got all the remotes on our phones, honey, like, just because we can't keep no remotes in this house. Don't ask me why. It's almost like putting the socks in the dryer. Okay, like, where the socks be going? Like, sometimes I just be like, you know what, never mind. But we can't keep up with the remote controls. We got all these TVs in the house, so we got the app on our phone, right? And so I may be using my phone for the app so I can control the TV if we're getting ready to watch a movie. And then what happens? What happens when you pick up your phone, right? Like, if my phone has just been laying there and I haven't even saw it, I keep my phone on vibration most of the time because I never know where I'm going to be, and like, I don't want to forget, right? So if I haven't picked up my phone, I haven't heard the vibrations, haven't been paying attention to my watch going off, then what does that mean? When I pick up my phone to turn on the movie, then I'm going to see notifications or emails or messages that have come through when my phone has been away from me. And what is the first instinct that we do? We want to check the messages. We want to check the emails. We want to check social media. Like, that is the first thing that comes to you when you put your phone in your hand. That's the first thing. And so if we're getting ready to watch a movie and I'm controlling the TV with the remote with my phone, she'll say, "Okay, mommy, you can put your phone down now." And it's almost like my reminder, because it's like, yeah, girl, because you was going to be like checking your messages or checking your emails while you're supposed to be dialed in for the movie. So it's important for us to be intentional with even the smallest things. But how do we make this a habit? Like, how do we get to the place where this isn't something that we're just writing down? This isn't something that we're just saying that we want to do. This isn't something that we're just like, oh, I want to be present this year, and we put it on the paper and we're hoping that it's just going to manifest, and we're not doing the work, right? Because we have to be willing to do the work. Right? So how do we do the work for that? What is required of us in order to see these things come off the paper but become a part of our everyday lives? What does that look like, and how do we do it? So and that being present was just an example. And I told you guys I'm always going to talk about me. Always. Okay? Just always. So it was a perfect example of being present. Do I get it right all the time? Absolutely not. I am not perfect by far, right? Not perfect by far. There'll be moments I'll pick my kid up and she'll be like trying to tell me something, and I'll be like, "Ju, give me 1 minute. Let me end this call." And then she'll just sit back and I'll be like, "Hey, you know what? On second thought, let me end this here and let me do it." Right? Because I'm not perfect. I'll forget. I'm not perfect. Or when we're watching a movie, I might pick up my phone and next thing you know, I'm scrolling on social media. And she'll be like, "Mommy, are you paying attention?" And I'm like, I am now. Phone down, right? So I'm saying all of that to say we're not perfect in this thing. But it is the intentionality to say, like, if I want to be present with my family, if I want to be present, and maybe not just in your family, like maybe not just with your kids, maybe be present with your spouse, right? Like, be present with your spouse without the distractions of your cell phone or your work computer or anything. Like, be present with them. Allow them to know that they have your undivided attention, because that changes the trajectory of your relationship. I know people don't believe it. People don't understand the power of presence. People don't get it. Like, people do not get it, but there is so much power in presence. Like, so much power in it. So it's important for you to make sure that you are dialed in. So whatever your goals are, if I called out one of your goals or not, right? Because there are tons of goals out here. So that could have been just random goals. Some of those were my goals. You know what I'm saying? But whatever your goals are, I want you to really think about, how can I put this into practice that it becomes a part of my life? Because I don't want to just write this goal down. I want to accomplish, I want to achieve, I want to obtain this goal. I want to see this goal come into fruition or come into manifestation in my life. I want to see the fruit of it. And it requires discipline. So I want you to stop and ask yourself, am I disciplined for the goals that I have? Am I ready? Am I prepared to say no? I'm going to do an episode on the power of no, because I don't think people understand the power of no, right? A lot of times we take on so many things, and there's so many various reasons why we take on so many things. I won't even get into them because that'll be diving into a whole nother subject. But there's so many reasons why we take on so many things and we don't exercise our no. And I think that people have to understand the power of no and working within your capacity. That's a whole nother episode for another day. But I want you to think about it. Are you disciplined for the goals? Are you disciplined for what is required of you, what your part is, right? Write the vision, make it plain. We know that. Put the goals down. We know that. But what is your part? What is your part? What is your requirement? What do you need to do while you are in this place of accomplishing these goals? Like, what is your part to do? Because we've all got a part. What does that look like? How do I become more disciplined? How do I exercise the power of my no, and to be able to say my no effectively, firmly, and without guilt? Because I don't want to feel bad about saying no, right? I don't want to feel, and I don't want to guilt myself to be like, okay, I said no, but I really wanted to say yeah, and then you're walking around like feeling away, because then you might as well just have said yeah. Because that feeling is going to stay with you. And then the next time you got to say no, it's going to make it hard for you. So I want you to remember your why. Why did I put this on my paper? Why do I want to accomplish this? Why do I want to do this? What does it look like for me to do this? That's what I want you to do. And I want you to think about it. Because we want to see you accomplish all of your goals. We want to see you be able to take all of your things and be like, you know what? This is the year. We want to see it. We want to see it. We want to see when you pull your board out at the end of the year, or however you do it. I typically write my goals out or type them up. I put them in my nightstand drawer, and I don't even look at them all year, right? That could be good or bad, okay? I don't look at them all year. I just put into my mind what they are, and most of the time, I accomplish at least 75% of the goals because I've made up in my mind that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to see in the year. Most of the time, I accomplish at least 75. There have been like 2 years where I've hit every single goal. Every goal. But I make up in my mind what I want to do and what's required, right? In order to do it. So however you do your goals, wherever you put your goals at, I want you to be able to walk back to these goals. I want you to be able to evaluate. What is it going to take for me to accomplish these goals? What is my part? What is my part here? What am I to do here? How do I, where can I add to this in a way that this becomes not just something that I'm trying to do, but something that I do? Something that becomes a part of my everyday. How do we do that? And what does that look like? I just want you to think about it. Listen, I just want you to think about it. Think about it as we enter into the new year and as we, really focus in on accomplishing goals, setting ourselves up for things, whatever that looks like. I really want you to think about it, and I want you to go forth. Listen, I absolutely believe in writing the vision and making it plain. I believe in it. If you come anywhere near me, I'm a writer, okay? I got sticky notes and I've got index cards and I've got printed sheets everywhere, honey. I've got prayers. I've got all of the things. I am a firm believer in writing the vision and make it plain and trusting God. But I also know that there is something that I have to do. And so I want to be actively working towards those things as well. And guys, this year, I'm going to get the 20 pounds off. So I'm not going to have to put this on my 2027 goals, okay? I'm going to get the 20 pounds off this year. I'm going to be disciplined. And I know what it looks like. And I know I'm going to have to say no. And so I'm preparing myself now to be okay with that. What are you preparing yourself to be okay with? How can you show up in what you are expecting? And are you ready? Because once you accomplish them, it's going to feel amazing. Are you ready? Can you feel it already? Can you feel it? Listen, I love you guys so much. I am so excited every single time I have an opportunity to speak with you guys. So I didn't get to have the guest on, but I still have her. And she's still excited to come. So I want to do that one in January, but I'm not going to give you a time because I don't know. But just know that one is still coming. Now it's going to dial us back a little bit because we were talking about relationships, preparation, and what that looks like for marriage. And so that is what her and I conversation is about. So it'll take us back a little bit, and then we'll be able to spend a little time there, honestly, because I think that it's necessary. But I just want you guys to prepare for that. Listen, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, send it to your girlfriend, send it to your neighbor. Listen, send it to somebody, anybody, everybody who you know are setting goals and they can benefit from this content. I love you guys for real. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day and week. Till next time.